call the City of Cross Lake City Council meeting to order on Monday, July 14th. So please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Looks like we have a few additions to the agenda. Under the consent calendar, we have additional bills for approval. Under the mayor and council members report, we have Cindy Mugato with the Cross Lakers to discuss city involvement in mapping with a Widseth proposal and a Bolton and Mink proposal. Under the city administrator's report, we have scheduled a workshop for the first presentation of the 2026 budget. Under commission reports for the Personnel Committee, we have discussed duties of Planning and Zoning Director on interim basis, a memo from the Personnel Committee, an email dated July 14th from Chris Pence, as well as the addition of P&Z staff member and use of emergency reserves to fund the cost. Do I have a motion for approval?
I move to accept the additions.
Sandy moves. Bob seconds. Is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of approving the additions to the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Public forum. This time is reserved for those persons who have a desire to address the council and have officially submitted in writing by Friday noon prior to the city council meeting a request to be placed on the agenda. So far, it looks like we have Mike O'Connell, so ready whenever you are, Mike.
Good evening. Mike O'Connell, 34088 White Oak Drive. I just wanted to pay respects to a former mayor who passed away last month on June 4th, Steve Rowe, born in 1941, died June 4th, 2025. He was a 8-year city council member, 2-year mayor of Cross Lake, and was involved in numerous volunteer boards such as the Powell Foundation, the Cross Lake Area Historical Society, and the Whitefish Chain Yacht Club. And so I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention that we lost a good citizen this last month, that him and Burl stayed in our community after they were no longer able to be at their home on Lower Whitefish and are at Whitefish at the Lakes and love living a part of this. And his funeral will be in Brainerd, July 24th at Brenny Funeral Home in Baxter at 12 noon. And even continuing his legacy, all the memorials will be going to the Cross Lake Fire Department on his behalf. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that, Mike. I know when talking with Steve, he was always a gentle, giant, boisterous kind of guy. So I will miss those conversations at Whitefish. But
Same
thank you
here.
for doing that.
Appreciate it.
I know you're going to hate me, Carol, but it is Carol Ottison's birthday today. So I think she deserves a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carol. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Carol. I think it's like your 50th birthday, right? The big 5-0 today? All right. Going on the consent calendar, does anyone have any questions about anything on the consent calendar or want anything pulled?
No.
All right, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Bob moves. Is there a second? A second by Jamie. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of approving the consent calendar, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. All right, to the mayor and council members report. First up, Lynn Sharon Brock with the Paul Bunyan Scenic Byway Video Project. So come on up, Lynn.
So Lynn Scherenbrock, representing the Paul Bunyan Scenic Byway Association. Thank you for inviting me. I think in your packets you should have 3 documents that I sent earlier. Everybody should have gotten those. If there are any questions, that's what I'm here for. Jackson said to come and see if I could answer whatever questions you have. So that's why I'm here, to try to answer whatever questions you have. Those 3 documents kind of outline the whole thing pretty well. All the questions that he specifically asked to have addressed, I think I did address in those. Cost was one of them, which of course everybody wants to know that. What the background was of the project and what the vision of that project is. So it's all there, but there might be other questions or details that someone would like to ask me about, and I will try to answer
I don't
those.
have a question, but I just want to say what a fantastic idea.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I think it will really bring this all to life for people, and I think it's fantastic, so.
It is a joy to work with the two that we've already done and the idea for everyone else as well. There's one out there. I hope everybody's had a chance to see Ideal Township's already completed one. It's on our website, it's on the National Scenic Byway website, and of course on Ideal Township's website too. And the next one, the City of Jenkins, is in final edit right now. So that should be available in maybe another week or so out for everybody to see. It's just a great and fun project.
So I know, like, great idea. I like it, as you and I discussed on the
Yeah.
phone the other night. I think it's a wonderful idea. I just know we don't have the money budgeted for this budget cycle, but we're going to be going into budgeting here soon. Is 2026 okay? Because I know you already have Breezy Point here for 2026,
Right.
but is it okay to do
Right,
two?
yeah, so whenever you do your budgeting would be, you can just let me know what you decide. There has to be, KC needs 6 months
Yeah.
between videotaping and the completed project. So the Breezy Point one is kind of dependent on their whole schedule for,
Yeah.
so I kind of have a tentative date for them.
Okay.
You could still pick a 2025 date too, or you could use non-taxpayer dollars. That's what happened in the city of Jenkins. They used their traffic fine money. So they didn't care about their budget. They could-
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
they use the traffic fine money, and I think as we were talking that through, they mentioned another non-taxpayer pot. I think it's called franchise fees. I don't know if you have
Okay.
those or don't, but those are two that they could tap into without worrying about budgetary issues at all. So just something to think about.
Okay.
The Ideal Township one, they did do that with their budget. So,
Perfect.
Yep.
If we can do it in 2025, how about I get back to you in like 2 weeks, and
You
I'll
just-
have city staff, or we can have city staff explore some non-taxpayer dollar
Sure.
options, and if we
Yeah.
can find something, we'll
Yeah.
connect.
You sure can. Just tell me you're ready,
Yeah.
and then once I know that, I'll get it on Casey's schedule. And what we do then is set a time to kind of brainstorm. I would come in
Yeah.
and talk to whoever wants to talk to me about who might be the talkers.
Yeah.
Who do you think should be a talker? Maybe you think Dodo should be a talker. I think
Dodo's a
Dodo
good
should be a
talker.
talker.
Yes.
There might be others, and you might say, well, we want to make sure that we have, like our parks represented, and so maybe we want TJ to be a talker,
Right.
or somebody. So you can give me that information, and then we sit down together and come up with the names, and that's all you have to do. You just have to
Perfect.
give me a date, a videotape, and where to go, and we go there and get it all done, and then let you edit it.
Sweet. Well, let's see what we have in the piggy bank, and then we'll circle back.
Sure. You
So-
can ask me questions anytime. I think you've got my contact.
Yeah, I've got your contact.
Anybody-
Does anybody have any last-minute questions for Lynn?
I'm just curious where you found the videographer.
I know him. I've known him for a long time, but he's done a lot of work, really a lot in Nisswa. That's his area. And I loved what he had done for the Chamber of Commerce. It's joyful. It's got a good vibe into it. So when you watch it, you're just like, oh, this is perfect. We looked through several people's video work, and some of it was maybe a fit, and some of it was not a fit at all for what we wanted to do for the objective of our effort. So, we kind of filtered it, put that filter on, Ellen, kind of filtered it through for the person who we thought could best represent our byway jurisdictions. So it was Casey.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn.
Yep, you bet.
Appreciate you coming tonight. Thank you. Next is a resolution accepting donations. We have multiple generous donations on here from the PAL Foundation, one for $3,616.19 for pickleball picnic tables, another one from PAL for $1,182.21 for a double rotor stand, another one from PAL for $1,034.93 for trees, and another one from the PAL Foundation for $100 towards the pickleball tournament sponsorship. as well as the Northland Pet Lodge for $100 for another pickleball tournament sponsorship, as well as the Cross Lake Veterinary Hospital for $100 for another sponsorship. And then finally, the Cross Lake Firefighters Relief Association for $6,542.61 for blacktop at the cold storage building. Does anybody have any discussion on that? Seeing no further discussion, is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the donations.
Robin makes a motion to approve the donations. Sandy seconds. Is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of accepting the donation signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Third, accept the resignation of a Park Commission member, Kristen Graham. Chris Graham has been on the Park Commission for quite a few years now, but she also serves on the Planning and Zoning Commission as well. And so I know she was just with life getting busy, and she already serves on one commission. She wanted to stay with Planning and Zoning, and so she resigned on Parks, which I'm very thankful that for her time on Parks, she's been very instrumental in there, so I appreciate that. But we just have to do a formal accept her resignation.
I move to accept her resignation.
Sandy moves, Bob seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of accepting the resignation signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Cindy, come on up with the Cross Lakers and discuss the city involvement in map making.
Cindy Miguto with the Cross Lakers tonight, and I brought Jonathan with me for the spokesperson.
So Cindy and I are here to represent the Cross Lakers. The Cross Lakers have been working to enhance the walkability of the city of Cross Lake since their inception. Most recently, we've been involved in a project to have wayfinding signage, which I'll get the photo here, along with benches, seating, and expanded landscaping at specific locations around the city, the core area of the city. This is a part of the enhancement plan for that was planned for the County Road 66 roadway sidewalk project of last year. Currently, in front of the community school, the concrete slab has been installed along with landscaping, and for the first of these locations. We don't have a timeline of when the bench will be installed, but I'm hoping it'll be soon. The cost of all this work has been covered. The last piece of the project will be the wayfinding signage. Each sign will have a map of the entire city of Cross Lake on one side and an enlarged map of the core area of the city, which is the extents from bridge to bridge along 66. This is considered the more walkable area of the city. Included with these maps will be QR codes to exit events page and highlight specific businesses, city facilities, etc. This allows for changes and updates to be easily accomplished without the need to redo the signage itself. The actual sign has been funded, but we need to secure a portion of the cost to have the maps designed. Through an RFP process, we have a not to exceed cost for a design of these maps and have a preferred firm to produce these maps. We don't currently have the entire funding to start the process of design. We know that the city has somewhere in the neighborhood of $3,500 left in the budget that's listed under roadway enhancement. We're asking you tonight to dedicate that $3,500 to the production of these maps. And of course, if you want to donate more, we're always open to that. We have other donations and sources and have, so this is not the need for every bit of it, but this will help us to get started. We're hoping to inform the vendor as early as tomorrow to start working on these. With a minimum of 3 weeks to produce the maps and then the added time of producing the wayfinding sign, installation, and so on, the completion of this project moves out to somewhere in the mid to late August already. And being that walkability is for summertime, visitors, tourists, etc., we'd like to get this installed as soon as possible. So we're trying to accomplish it before snow flies, at least. So do you have some updates? Do you want to add to this? Otherwise, we can answer any questions you have.
The only thing I want to add to this is I've been working with Sandy on some economic vitality and reviewing the comp plan. And I want to make note of, in this implementation section of the comp plan, there's 3 different places where these things are mentioned. One under land use, it says to identify key areas for wayfinding signage that are strategically located throughout the city. Under the economic vitality section, it says to brand and market the city, develop and distribute promotional and wayfinding content. And under recreation, it says to identify beach access, trailheads, trail networks, and all modes and adjacent amenities. So this will accomplish all of that is currently in the comp plan.
So let's get down to the nuts and bolts. We have 2 proposals right in front of us. One from our own city engineer for $2,500, which is less than what we have in the coffer of the $3,500. Or we have a Widseth proposal that could go all the way up to and not exceed $7,500.
That is true. The $2,500 from Bolton and Mink was a general number for what they have used, what the cost has been for other cities. It's not an actual proposal for service. The document that we have from Widseth is an actual proposal for the project, and we're preferring that vendor because they are already working with the trails systems in the town square area. They will be working with the Loon Center through that area, and I understand they're working on the new bike trail area as well. So they're already doing mapping for us, and it would be nice to have a cohesive look throughout the city, through all of these kiosks and those areas going forward. I also want to mention that you have a city map that is terrific, and we would like to have this on one side of the kiosk. It literally shows all 36 square miles of the city. So that is a nice handy reference for people when they're trying to figure out exactly where we are in the whole scheme of Cross Lake. We can't figure out who made this map.
No one can find where that map was
So
made.
this will have to be redone. And I think it's something you probably want to use going forward.
We have that map on our computers.
I was gonna say, can we just send you the map with the?
You have a digital version of this?
Yes,
It's alterable?
yes. That's what?
Yeah, that's terrific. That's half the battle. So now the 7,500 not to exceed number just went down.
Yeah, because I don't think, they don't need to, yeah, right, right. Any other council members have any other questions? I know kind of where I'm at, but.
My only comment is that, I mean, this is kind of under the Cross Lakers auspices, and they just are asking for the money that fell into the beautification of the roads, whatever. So, I mean, I respect the fact that you prefer the Widseth version and want to be consistent and cohesive throughout the city. So, I mean, you're not asking for any more or any less based on who you choose. You just are requesting. So I don't really have a strong opinion about who you use, but I have no problem, providing the funds that are already available.
Jamie?
They weren't earmarked for anything else, were they?
They were just sitting in the pot.
I have no issues with it.
Bob?
No, I'm fine with their recommendation.
Okay, Robin?
I like the fact that we use our map. I like our map as well, and it should drop the cost substantially. They don't have to recreate it. So
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing the deliverable.
okay, cool. Is there a motion?
I move to accept your proposal.
Sandy moves to go with
Widseth?
Widseth. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Bob seconds. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, I'd like to put a cap on that, though, that the council look to accept the proposal not to exceed whatever was in our, what do we have left, 3,500?
Yeah,
We have available, the 3,500, that would be our contribution.
Right.
yeah, yep. Okay, there's a motion, a second. Those in favor of accepting and going with Bolton, or Widseth, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks to the Cross Lakers. Great.
City Administrator's report. All right, Mary. Where are you? Hi, yeah, I'd be hiding too.
Perfect. Well, thank you for having me tonight. Hopefully, everybody has everything that they need.
Yes.
So in front of you should have the bound audit report. Always good nighttime reading if you prefer.
I love it.
Put you to sleep. So we do the PowerPoint. It's just really much easier to explain where you've been.
Yes.
Where you're at now currently. We'll go through that PowerPoint. Feel free to stop me at any time if you have any questions. Definitely can be interactive there. So we'll start with that PowerPoint. Page 1, the agenda. So city's audit results we'll talk about, the financial results, and then any key issue or summary
Hold on.
items.
Let's see if we can get it up.
Okay. Because I see you don't, some have it handy too.
Oh, I thought you were putting it on the TV. I'm sorry. You're just going to do it this way?
Well, here, I can,
Well, usually we go through the TV. If possible, please.
You want to do that?
Just for transparency.
Got it. Okay. And then turn it on.
Oh, it'll take a second to heat up.
Okay, perfect. So just that quick
Maybe.
agenda, key issue or summary items. Turn it on, right?
the lights on. There you go.
It's like we live in Mayberry.
There we go, perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
So the city's audit results, an unmodified opinion on the financial statements, so highest level of assurance that us as auditors can give. Compliance there, 3 material weaknesses, 2 you're used to, segregation of duties, obviously just not quite big enough to separate out all of those duties. You do have controls in place to help mitigate that risk, which we do test there. We draft the financial statements. Obviously, we do it all day, every day. We do give it to management to review. We want to make sure they're looking at the numbers and are agreeing to those. Material audit adjustments, with the turnover, we did come in and help with some of those audit items. I do believe that will go down in future years when we work with Lori and her team. So we'll keep working on that. 90% of my clients have all 3 of these findings, so it's nothing to be alarmed about. We just come in and help. Your month-to-month financials are going to be accurate, right? It's just those year-end entries that we come in and help with, so you can make informed decisions as you go through the year. Minnesota legal compliance, we do 7 areas of testing there and no findings. Yes. So clean there. So governmental funds, so these are going to be all 3 of your funds, the TIF, debt service, and your general fund combined. Obviously, general fund is going to be, that's why I didn't want to put mine up. Sorry, that was. I have notes too. So when you look at this, you can see dark blue are going to be your revenues. So revenues actually increased as well from prior year. Light blue are your expenditures, right? You can see quite a bit of increase there. So 2 million of that increase from last year's alone capital outlay, right? You did a lot of projects this year.
It's been a busy
Yep,
year.
Yep. Also included with that, you know, you had quite a few new salary payouts, added a new position. You had to have some accounting help right there in between. You had a new STR platform, and you did have some sirens as well. Some of that capital outlay, you also had 620,000 of insurance proceeds come in. That is not shown in your revenue here. It's shown in your other financing sources, red. So that's why that increased as well. Revenue increased. Your biggest increase there is going to be your taxes from prior year. Okay. The next page. It's just your governmental funds revenue broken out by category. So you can see down at the bottom, right? Each of those colors lines up with one of the categories. Again, we talked about it. So your biggest increase here is going to be your taxes from last year to current year there. When you look at everything else, you're pretty similar there. So your next one is going to be your governmental fund expenditures, which we kind of talked about, what you would expect. Your capital outlay is going to be high up there. General government's going to be a lot of those salary-related payouts. And then public safety, you added a new officer there too as well. So general fund, when you really look at your 5-year trend, right? I know this year looks pretty significant, right? But look at the past 2 years. Look at your fund balance, right? So you've really been able to add, even when you spent that much more, your fund balance is still higher than 2020. So yes, you don't want this to be significant every year, but if you do it every couple of years because you have built up your fund balance, that's really what you want to do, right? So now you're cutting down, if you have a big project coming up or just a one-time expense, you can really fund that internally and save on debt costs, right? Because it is really expensive to bond. So when you're looking at that, make sure you remember how much you have here. State auditor recommends 50%. Right now you're at about a year. So really you have some wiggle room right here. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Now again, I wouldn't recommend 6 years in a row, but you do have some room there. So your general fund 5-year trend here. Again, just kind of showing fund balance went down a little bit, but not excessively when you look at prior years. Again, your expenditures came in over revenues, and then your other financing sources. You also had about $138,000 of a sale of an asset, so that went in there as well. So the next one is just your pie charts. We like to show you kind of how in perspective what each of these categories make up, right, of your expenditures. So expenditures are on the left. So again, capital outlay at 40%, last year was 21%, right? So you're gonna see everything shift because of capital outlay. Really, when you look at everything else, the ones we already talked about are gonna be the ones that in the numbers are larger, but here's going to be smaller, right? Because capital outlay is so big. When you look at your revenues, they're pretty spot on year over year, right? That's, again, you're going to have your biggest piece coming in as taxes. You do not get local government aid. So that's why your intergovernmental is going to be so small year over year. Okay. So next one is your general fund revenues in detail here. Now this is just your general fund and what comes in to the general fund. So again, you can see your taxes did increase from prior year, and then everything else remained fairly consistent year over year. Intergovernmental will kind of vary just depending on if you get any grant-specific items, right, that you apply for there. Then you look at your general fund expenditures. And we've pretty much already hit on those. Your capital outlay about $2 million above last year. And then some of your new officer here for public safety, and then your payouts and other items that you spent from general government. So your next one.
That was,
Sorry.
So 22 is going to be your new, your special assessments, I believe. That's why that's going to be so high, right? So it's proprietary, recorded all as revenue right away, and then book a receivable. But in general, pretty consistent. Sewer charges are up from prior year. Other operating expenses went down. Your personnel costs went down there, personal services. And then everything else remained fairly consistent. So really, when you look, right, your net income from 23 to 24 is fairly consistent there.
Yep.
Okay, again, that's why you're going to be so high there as well.
At least you know I looked at it before.
I was going to say, it proves you're attentive, so it's okay.
I want to add, it's helpful because everyone else is thinking the same thing, so it's great.
Perfect. So then we like to do it by department, right? Just kind of see what makes up those expenditures in the piece of the pie there. So administration at 35% here, one of your bigger ones, and then planning and zoning. So if you looked at last year, administration would have been 40%, planning and zoning would have been 30%, and then just kind of shifted in between the rest. But so public safety here, expenditures by department, when you look at prior year, pretty much consistent year over year. Public Works, last year, I think you put a little bit more into engineering. You had about 9% here last year, bringing this down to 91%, just depending on what projects you have going on, right? So the beginning of the stages, you're going to have more of that engineering costs. Library is going to be similar with recreation, 94 and 6 there. Okay, so just a few other financial highlights that we like to hit on. So financial statements were due June 30th, 2025 to the state auditor along with the reporting form. Both of those were submitted on time. General fund had a negative change in fund balance. We talked about that not being year over year, had some room there. Sewer fund had a positive change in net position, about 175,000, so positive there. That did not always be the case. Yep. It has gotten better, a lot better. Yep. So capital outlay and in general fund, we talked about 2.8 million. So when you look at that, and that increase of 2 million went into capital assets, and then sale of assets was about 138,000. So you did sold some of those assets as well as you replaced them. Debt service fund increased about 33,000, so you're definitely collecting enough taxes to pay for that principal and interest coming in. So a total debt of about 5.1 million, fund balance of about 1 million. So you just collect year over year to make those payments. General fund, 977,000 over budget in revenues. So intergovernmental charges for services and interest were your biggest components of that. And then expenditures were over budget about 424,000. So at the end, you had cash on hand of about 8.1. Current year expenditures of 7, so sitting with a comfortable over a year balance there. The expected change in fund balance you budgeted for was to have a loss of just over $1 million, and you ended with a loss of about 652,000. So actually better than expected. General fund assigned fund balance, 821,000 for capital outlay for some of those other areas. General fund restricted was at 0, did spend all of that restricted fund balance, which is usually good. That's what you want to do. And then debt service remains stable to meet principal and interest payments. And then quick highlight of the sewer fund. So you did actually have positive cash flow from operating activities as well. Yes, you had restricted, that is good.
Marcia would be proud.
Right. Restricted cash of 463,000. Again, that's for debt service as you make those payments. Operating expenses about 658,000. Operating revenues of 446,000. So you actually still do fund some of that deficit with property taxes, right? That's still coming in. And then depreciation expense about 381,000. So depreciation expense is non-cash. That's why you have positive cash flow, right, when you take that piece out. So overall, increased cash by about 121,000. You spent 92,000 in capital asset purchases, 170,000 from operating activities, and then you did pay 346,000 in principal payments this year. Okay. So just continue to monitor those. Obviously, sewer is looking much better than it has in the past, but you just want to continue to keep on top of it.
So in other words, we're in the green again, right?
Yes. Let's keep it that way?
Let's keep it that way.
Fine.
Bleed off some of that cash.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Mary.
Perfect. I didn't know if there are any additional questions.
Yeah, does anyone have any questions for Mary before we approve this? No?
Covered it well.
Okay.
Bob? Robin?
Bob.
Well, it's both of you two combined is what that was.
I don't have any questions, but I know how difficult this work is, and it takes the whole army of team in the city to accomplish what we have. So nice work, everybody, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks,
Good
Laura.
job, Mary. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, is there a
Thank you.
motion to accept the approval of the 2024 audited final statements?
I'll motion to accept the audited financial statements.
Robin makes a motion, Jamie makes a second. Is there any further discussion? Those in favor of accepting the approval of the 2024 audited financial statement signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
We'll see you again next year. Hey, yes, you do. All right, number 2, cannabis business registration application. Ms. Conway.
We have our first and only cannabis business application in front of you tonight. And this is from Hastings Consulting, doing business as Minnesota Roots. We have reviewed this application and have received all the documents necessary to award this license.
Okay.
Perfect. Is there any further discussion from any council members? Seeing no further discussion, is there a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Sandy moves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds. Those in favor of approving the cannabis business application signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Perfect. Right into commission reports. Park and
Number 3.
I'd like, yep.
Schedule the workshop for the first presentation of the 2026 budget cycle.
I would like to get this scheduled so that we can present the first draft to you guys.
Did you still want it for the end of July?
I believe that Bob will be out of town that week.
Okay.
So if we could do it even the week before, I do have the first draft ready to roll. And Cheryl and I will be happy to present that to you.
Wow.
So the 23rd of July, does that work for everyone? That's a Wednesday? Because you're just
We
coming
will be
back.
having a personnel committee
Right,
meeting,
we
I
can
believe, so let's just
do it
take
after.
advantage of everybody
Yep.
being present.
Okay, we can do it after. What time was that personnel at?
8.
8? How does 9:30 sound?
Sure.
Or 9, Lori? I don't think.
Whatever,
I
I
think
think
nine,
9 would be,
yeah.
No, I think 9's better too. Okay.
Okay.
9 o'clock on the 23rd.
The
Chip, does
23rd.
that work for you? Jake? Okay.
Pat? Okay. And then I have one thing to say.
9 o'clock.
I'm nervous.
I'd like to extend heartfelt appreciation to Pat, our dedicated Public Works Director, for his exceptional commitment over the 4th of July weekend. As the sewer facility faced unprecedented demand, Pat devoted countless hours ensuring the system remained fully operational. His hands-on oversight prevented potential emergencies and kept us firmly in crisis prevention mode. Thanks to Pat's diligence and professionalism, we avoided what could have easily become a crisis situation. So thank you, Pat, for your countless hours.
Good job, Pat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That could have been a you-know-what kind of mess, so thank you. All right, moving right into the commission reports for the park and library. There's a memo here from TJ talking about the Bolton and Mink Trail feasibility study. It looks like this motion carried with all ayes coming out of the Park and Rec Committee. Lori, do you have anything else you want to discuss on this?
I think it was pretty well laid out in the memo. We
Yep.
would like to recommend a consideration for the trail feasibility plan proposal from Bolton and Mink.
Okay.
With that, the price is $32,940. We have graciously been giving 50% of that from Lakes Area Foundation. Mike O'Connell has committed to
Awesome,
that.
awesome,
So a
awesome.
big thank you. And then under the Park Dedication Fund would be the remaining 50%.
Sweet. Thank you once again, Mike, and everyone at Lakes Foundation. We really would not be doing this without you guys, so thank you. Does any council member have any further discussion?
Nope.
No? Is there a motion to approve?
I move to approve the recommendation for the trail.
Bob made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Robin seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of approving the trail feasibility quote signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. All right, Pat, you're up. Number one, pay request number one for the Harbor Lane road improvements.
Okay, from Bolton Mink, they gave us a deal that they're gonna retain 5,000, but the amount to be paid is 27,231.28 for the first pay, for the first chunk of the work done on Harbor Lane.
Okay. Is there a council motion to approve this pay request?
I move to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, Sandy made a motion, Bob seconded. Those in favor of approving this pay request signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Number two, memo dated from July 8th, 2025, Public Works Commission Archaeological Study.
We discussed that for the 103, County Road 103 Trail Archaeological Study for 2028. And that's gonna go from Happy Landing to County of 103, so. And I do believe, isn't that gonna be paid?
There's, yes,
Yeah.
there's, yes.
So,
It's yet to be figured out, but there's talk, so,
Yes.
yes. All right, and it looks like that motion came out with all ayes from the commission, so is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
I'll second that.
Sandy made a motion, Bob seconded. Those in favor of approving the archaeological study signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. All right, next one up, number three, looks like a tree policy.
yes, we needed a tree policy per our insurance company wanted us to have it.
Okay?
Robin has done a lot of work on that, get what we have, and did you have a little change in that, Robin?
No, I think that, Lori, you did a nice job on this, and I think it's helpful. I think you had mentioned that we needed to have this for insurance reasons. That was a recommendation,
Yep.
is to have it. So,
Okay.
yep, we agreed.
Looks, let's see
Do
how we're
you want it
set.
read?
No, it looks good to me.
Yeah. It's reasonable.
It looks fine.
Yeah.
Jamie, anything from you?
No, I'm okay with
Bob?
No, it looks good.
Robin, good job on straightening this out. Is there a motion to approve the tree policy?
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Motion to approve by Robin, seconded by Bob. Those in favor of adopting the tree policy signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Last one from Pat, update on, Public Works Commission regarding the holiday lighting at the roundabout.
Yes, they'd like to have them taken down and only put up during the Christmas season or whatever
That's-
season they're lighting up for.
That's fine. I see they're already down.
Yeah.
As I say, I see they're already down, so we're caught from
I
that.
didn't even know they were holiday lights.
Do we need a motion regarding the timing of when they go up and when they come down, or?
It's in here.
It's in there as council action, so we might as well.
Yeah, okay, I move to approve the holiday lighting situation.
I'll second that. Seeing there's a motion and a second, is there any further discussion?
Yes, can I make a little clarity? I did have some discussions with Dave Schrupp, who's on the committee as well, and he, I said, it's great that they're down. I think it was communication, that we need to have more clear communication with the city. But I would like to amend the motion. The motion says, if you're going for their motion, a motion was made and seconded to recommend that the city council direct the Cross Lake Chamber to remove the holiday lights. I think if I could amend it to say, I'd like it to be amended to say the management of the roundabout decorations will be led by the city of Cross Lake, and they will consult with the county as necessary. Let's just take out who in that, because we don't know who, it's just, let's not point fingers. So I'd like to make that as an amendment.
Consult with county if
As
need.
necessary. Well, so we had conversations about the water,
Yep,
and so the water that's actually beautifying the plants. seemed to be not doing their job either. And we weren't sure if that was city responsibility or county responsibility, so that's why.
It's not county.
It's not county at
Nope.
all? Okay, then we'll take county out of that statement. I will amend my suggested amended motion. But if you guys want to just rescind
So
it, I will give you.
just continued with management of the roundabout and the decorations just from the city of Cross Lake.
Cross Lake, if we could just do that.
I was gonna say, I think we'll continue to work with light up. Sure, hop up.
Sorry, I'm Cindy with the Chamber. So first of all, the Chamber does not have anything to do with the holiday lighting in the roundabout. That is the organization called Holiday at the Dam, or Lighting of the
Light Up
Dam,
the Dam.
excuse me. Lighting of the Dam does the lighting of the roundabout. And the city can work with the
I'd
Lighting
say
of the
we'll
Dam
right.
group going forward for that.
Yes, you have a fine motion.
Okay, do you want me to read?
Second.
Have it written?
No, you
Okay.
have a good motion. We'll keep her motion as it is if Sandy amends, but we'll also continue to work with Light Up the Dam.
Light up the dam.
We'll continue to work with the Light Up the Dam committee, but we'll just keep the motion.
Number two, the water service has been checked by the irrigation company, and he said it is working.
Okay.
So can you, whoever,
I've talked to the county and I've talked to him too about it.
it's controlled out of the building, out of my building.
So that's
He
coming.
needs to reset that for different watering levels, but earlier, I checked with him a month ago, and he said it was actually being overwatered.
That's coming up on E.
Okay.
So Sandy, do you accept Robin's amended motion?
Yes, and I will make an amended motion based on Robert's.
I'll make my amended motion and accept Robin's as well. So there's a motion and a second to take down, put up and take down the holiday lights, and it'll continue to be managed, or the roundabout will be continue to be managed by the city of Cross Lake, along with partnerships with the Light Up the Dam committee. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. All right, Pat.
Okay,
E,
the
update
condition
on,
of the plantings and the landscaping there, the county's been aware of it. They're supposed to come back and replant for free sometime in the next few weeks. They don't have a date set for it yet.
Great.
And like Cindy said, I also talked to him about the water, and he said, yes, it's just getting water, they just died for whatever reason.
Okay.
go ahead.
So Pat, those new plants, so they're under warranty. We just need to keep on the county because they're responsible. That's where the county is responsible
Yep.
to making sure that they're
They'll get
good
replanted
plants.
this one more time, and that's it.
Okay, so if these die,
Then we're on the
It's on
hook.
us.
Yep.
so there's no like keep it on our calendar in a year because they're planting in the middle of July again.
Right. Well, I think that's kind of why they're waiting too, is to
Okay, okay,
get
good.
off of the heat, the hottest
Yeah.
time of the year.
Awesome. Thank you for that follow-up.
Yep.
Sweet. All right. Anything else from any other council members? Do we have any grass seed laying around anywhere?
Yes.
Can we try to throw some or rake some in by the boulevard there by Andy's, and that looks
Yeah.
like full of weeds?
Well, we're gonna have the hydro seeder out here hopefully next week.
Even
Do
better.
Stuff at the cemetery. We'll come in there and take
Oh,
care of that.
Fantastic,
Great, Pat.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
All
Bill,
right.
Do you have anything or, nope? But-
Personnel Committee. It's been a very busy week here at City Hall this past week. There's been a lot of Personnel Committee meetings and phone calls and everything else, but I think we're finally going in the right direction when it comes to planning and zoning. So the Personnel Committee discussed the first one, A, discussed duties of Planning and Zoning Director on an interim basis. What do you want to call this? Just the communication is that the Personnel Committee met on July 9th for its regular scheduled meeting. An MOU proposal for added duties was discussed. We talked about out-of-grade pay, and then the length of the out-of-grade pay was also discussed. The Personnel Committee discussed all the ways to handle the vacancy of the Planning and Zoning Administrator's position and how to fulfill those duties. The committee further discussed the history of a past MOU and the hourly rate given at that time and compared it to the hourly rate proposed this time. The committee would like to seek the best fit for the vacancy discussed, exploring all options. So that is part of the memo. Some of the other parts that were discussed were seeing who we could get in here for the interim. We had a good candidate, but that candidate is no longer interested, which is okay. We're very thankful for him anyways. But we are also thankful that Chris Pence from Crow Wing County has now been interested in doing this work as well. So it looks like Chris Pence is going to have the time and the bandwidth to help straighten out some of the ongoing issues we have in planning and zoning and get us back on track for the meantime. So we are very, very thankful for Chris's willingness and cooperation to help join the team. Let's see. So I need a motion to extend a contract, right? How do you want to word that? Because I know we need to word it the correct way.
I believe that we would extend a contract for his hourly rate. I think that we have no idea how many hours per week,
Right.
but he is limited because he is working. So most of his hours will be communications during the day and then after 6 PM.
Right.
With him being close to us in vicinity, he could handle that. So the contract would be somewhat vague, other than his rate.
Right.
Will he be charging for, phone calls,
That's,
et cetera, emails?
that's built into that,
Is it?
yes, that hourly rate.
You're right.
He would be recognized as an independent contractor?
That is correct.
So he wouldn't fall for para or anything like that.
Correct.
So, is there any other questions from any council member?
I have a question. So
Yeah.
how did we stumble on Chris?
So
Did we
Chris,
solicit this?
we'll just
or-
be fully open. I was talking with Jerry Bonzak the other day, and Jerry is very busy with the city of Breezy, and he initially did not want to come back, but in conversation with me, he's like, I will come back if you want me to. And at this time, we didn't know about Chris. He had mentioned Chris to us, that he could be a second option. So Lori had phoned Chris and sent an email, and we hadn't heard back and hadn't heard back and hadn't heard back, and so it was Friday. And so Friday, we firmed up talking about Jerry this evening. Chris finally got back to Lori today, right? Or was it Friday?
I actually talked to him midweek and then followed up because we were actually looking at seeing if the county would be interested in taking and helping us. And then Chris and I did end up communicating this morning to finalize if he could come in and help and how that would look, what he could do,
Right.
and his hourly rate.
And so then I spoke with Jerry this morning and said, hey, here's the situation. This is the guy you recommended. If you still want to keep your offer on the table, we'll consider it tonight. And he's like, you guys have Chris. I'm out.
So I have concerns about Chris in that it's availability and being at the counter for the customers that are coming in. We don't have any coverage. I mean, we have one staff, but
Yeah.
is this going to fill the gap of the leadership that we need?
Well, hopefully it's temporary, for one thing,
This would definitely be an interim until we hire that person, and we will be having a personnel committee meeting on the 23rd
Yes.
to review a candidate that did apply that we feel is worthy of an interview.
Okay.
As of now, we thought we had a plan, and when it came around to last Monday, all of a sudden, building permits were not being signed and stuff like that. So we need to get Chris in here as soon as possible to start signing building permits and get going with this matter. I mean, this is a time-sensitive issue.
And Chris, having the relationship with our current staff, they've already worked together, and I think the communication will flow very smoothly between the two of them.
Honestly, Robin, we looked at a lot of different options, and I feel really fortunate that we have this one.
I feel very thankful that this one presented itself here this morning, so.
For the clarity.
Yeah.
No problem. All right, is there any further discussion on that? Seeing no further discussion, actually, I need a motion first.
I'll move to hire Chris Pence as an interim P&Z director.
Perfect. There's a motion, there's a second to hire Chris Pence as an interim planning and zoning director. Is there any further discussion?
Is it hire or contract?
Contract.
Yeah.
Let's
Contract,
amend the,
contract.
motion to contract.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amend your motion.
Okay, I move to hire Chris Pence on a contract basis, yeah.
Okay. Jamie? Second. Okay. Motion, second, amended, accepted. Any further discussion? Those signify by approving Chris Pence on a contracted basis to fulfill the interim planning and zoning director, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign, ayes have it. So in this search, as well as looking for a planning and zoning director, we had also interviewed a candidate for the director's role, and I'm just going to read this memo. So the Personnel Committee met on July 9th for its regular scheduled meeting. The committee also conducted a Teams meeting with a candidate for the planning and zoning director position. While the committee did not feel the candidate was ready for the director role, they discussed succession planning and how that could look within the department. Therefore, it was the consensus of the Personnel Committee to make a recommendation to the City Council to consider creating an additional planning and zoning coordinator position to cross-train and ensure business continuity for future possibilities. It was further discussed that the funds for the remainder of this year, if we were to hire this person, could come from the reserves. The motion options required, creation of additional position, and source of funding. During this just Zoom interview with this candidate, Sandy and I were very impressed with this individual. This individual is, what was it, 1 year out of college?
I believe so.
1 year out of college, 1 year experience with a city in Wisconsin. And from what she was telling us and the duties and roles that she has been fulfilling in her internship with the city in Wisconsin, we felt, Sandy and I and Lori, that this candidate would be really good as a succession planning to fulfill Cheryl's role down the line if Cheryl were to ever retire.
And her education also is,
And her education and experience is spot on for that role.
And I just honestly, I think it's such a positive, way to approach this is to look ahead instead
Right.
of like always trying to catch up. I think if we, have someone in place who's being trained and ready to step in when the time is right. And
Right.
I think it's really a smart way to approach.
Even though this candidate had applied for the director's position, I was quite frank, and I had asked this individual, I said, even though this is a director's position, would you still be willing to sign on with the city as a position below the director with, possible future to gain knowledge and step into a director's role? And this individual was more than happy to do that.
This is a position that we want to look at as a whole, right? A planning and zoning coordinator as a whole. We can't make offer even if you vote on this
Right.
until we post it for 5 days and see if we have any internal candidates, and they would have first right of refusal.
Right. This is just the idea of the concept.
Yep.
Is there any questions or comments from any council members?
So would this position be posted concurrent with the vacant director position? So if you have a skilled, qualified director, you could fill that instead of filling the coordinator? Or are you looking for a new position funded so you will fill both positions?
Yes, Robin, the last one. We are looking to have two, because in the planning and zoning, in any department, when you have someone very long-term, they have all that knowledge. And we don't know when she will retire or what, but it is, when you have an applicant like this, and we are so understaffed in that department, I think it's important to plan ahead and start training and taking advantage of offering a expedited customer service instead of how we have been, and take a look at all of our operations and our ordinances as well.
And Cheryl has a wealth of knowledge, and to have someone available to whom she can impart that knowledge, ahead of,
Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely support.
yeah.
I just wanted clarity for myself and the audience. Then, of course, you put my finance hat on. Where is the money coming from?
Well, very limited resources for the remainder of this year. However, I would recommend to utilize the reserves, which we have approximately $90,000 in our reserves
Yes.
that we budgeted for something like this.
Going into that interview with the individual, we were literally thinking director's role, but as soon as she started talking, all three of us started talking about succession planning right there, right then and there. So we wanted to bring that to the council and see what your guys' appetite was for it.
She's a rare find, I would say.
You need a motion to move forward with that.
With the concept and the idea, yes.
I would make that motion to move forward with the additional planning and zoning coordinator position.
There's there's a motion from Bob. Is there a second?
Second?
All right, there's a second. Is there any further discussion?
I don't have a discussion on this, but a point is, how long was the Teams meeting you had with this individual?
I had an individual meeting with her to pre-screen her for about 45 minutes, and then our interview was 45 minutes.
Okay.
And I would say, you know, even though we have a motion, a second, whatever on the ground, before there would be any formal hiring of said employee, I would appreciate or almost require her to come up here for a day and interview with city staff, sit down with the personnel committee, take a tour of the building, get to know what we have going on here in our city.
So I do have one additional budget question. So we're going to have 3 FTEs, full-time equivalents. When or if anyone were to retire or resign, are we expecting to fill all 3 again? I just really want to make sure that we know that it's a permanent, we're going to commit to 3 in planning and zoning for here forward, or that we assess it when there's a vacancy. Thank you.
That is a good question and something that you guys need to consider. I think once we bring in that person and we see the flow,
Yeah.
and if we can reach the goals of faster customer service, revision of ordinances and reviewing of the GIS mapping, I think it's a question for down the road to see how it fits.
But I think this individual will really be an asset to the planning and zoning. Go ahead. 3 back in the day.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why we want to get her in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, okay, so there's a motion, there's a second to continue with this concept. Is those in favor of continuing this concept and exploring this idea signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. So at the next personnel committee meeting, do you want to get on the agenda to discuss?
I think that we also need a
Motion
motion
for
for the financial aspect of the position to utilize the reserves should we obtain a qualified candidate.
But we'll still come back to council with the final
Yeah.
window. Okay.
Okay, well, I'll move to consider using emergency reserves to fund the addition of this employee.
There's a motion.
I'll second that.
Bob seconds to use emergency funds. Is there any further discussion? Go ahead.
Just for this fiscal year.
Just for this
This
fiscal year,
calendar year.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks for keeping us on our toes.
No, you're fine. It's okay. It's okay. So there's a motion, there's a second for exploring the reserves. Those in favor of exploring the reserves signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Can I ask, should I try and schedule her since we're already here on the 23rd?
I don't think we
That
can
gives
do,
me
we
enough
can't do that.
days to post.
Yes, but I don't think we have enough time just for an hour, and then we have that budget meeting. So that's why I was kind of hinting maybe 9:30.
Well, if we have the budget meeting at 9:30, an hour interview, and then,
Aren't we at 8?
yeah, but 8 and then 9:30 for the budget
Oh, and then have her after?
after.
That's fine.
Okay. Well, first I'll post it. I'll keep you in the loop should we have a qualified internal candidate.
Okay?
If not, we will proceed with scheduling an interview for the 23rd.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
You said 9 for the budget meeting, or we did?
Yes, 9, we still have the 9 o'clock budget meeting. We have an 8 o'clock personnel meeting first. Okay. Public forum. This is for those persons that wish to address the council. The council recognizes the value of citizen input, and time will be limited to 3 minutes or longer if the mayor feels necessary. Is there anybody for public forum? Seeing nobody for public forum, I just have... Come on, Peter. I still would have let you go on.
Peter Graves, 14131 Sugarloaf Road. I just wanted to give the council an update. We had talked before about planning a senior tournament for our pickleball in September, and this is also going to be the charity fundraising event to support some local charities in the area. With the development of the new courts that we have going on, with some delays in getting that completed, and in fact, hopefully this week they are going to put the painting down on that, it's delayed the resurfacing of the existing courts that's going to now take place in September. And the committee has been very much involved with that whole process of getting the courts in good shape and ready to go. Plus, our focus this year has been on the development of a website to keep the community at large aware of what's going on. That's taken away time from developing a good plan of action for the tournament itself. So we've decided to forego the tournament this year, plan for it next year, give us more time. We would hate to have all these brand-new courts and rush a tournament together and not have it be a successful event and have anybody with complaints or frustrations about that. So we think it's just a better situation to put it on hold for a year, give us more time to make sure it's a good event that the community can be proud of. So I just wanted to keep the
Thank you,
council
Peter.
aware of that.
Appreciate that. Is there anyone else for public forum? Seeing nobody else, we designed, this is kind of Councilmember Farter's idea, our first city newsletter, and there's a stack of them out front, so I just wanted to make that announcement. We're going to try to do it quarterly and just do it on our city website and have it here at City Hall. So you can grab one of those on your way out. Congratulations, Sandy, good job. And then, yes, Lori, thank you for your time involved too. And then I will be doing a mayor's town hall meeting on Thursday, July 24th at 6:30 at the Log Church. So everyone is welcome to attend that as well. Is there anyone else for public forum? Seeing no one else for public forum is closed. Is there any new business? Any old business? And then we'll roll right into the city attorney report. Jordan, do you have anything for us before we have to close the meeting?
I do not, no.
Okay. So now the city of Cross Lake will be closing our public city council meeting, and we have to close this. For the basis of closing this meeting is the Minnesota Open Meeting Law, Minnesota Statute Section 13D.04, Subdivision 2, that authorizes the city council to conduct a closed session to receive attorney-client communications, and there is an active litigation under the matter to consider by the city council. In addition, the Minnesota Open Meeting Law, Minnesota State Statutes 13D.05, Subdivision 3B, authorizes the council to close the meeting for the purpose of attorney-client privilege, and the city council needs to meet with its attorney in a confidential setting to discuss litigation strategy related to the following active case: Michael and Pamela Cunningham versus the city of Cross Lake. I would entertain a motion to adjourn into a closed session on the statutory grounds that are just cited. So is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Robin makes a motion to close. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. Char, can you just take a roll call vote, please? To close the meeting?
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Sandy?
So now the meeting is now closed, and announce that the motion to close the meeting is passed, and the open meeting law, or the open meeting is now closed. Inform the audience that the open portion of the city council meeting will be adjourned, and the closed session in the city council is completed. Got my Joe Biden script.